Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. FPL Consult here, and in today's video we have my double game week 25 transfer plans where I share with you guys what I intend to do with my team to prepare it for double game week 25. Now, as of recording, the teams that will double are still not confirmed, so for the purpose of today's video we can only go by what is most likely to occur based on market odds. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll share with you guys my plans as we go along. So if you guys do enjoy this one, please do drop a like, please do subscribe as well, and let's get on with the video. So this is how my team looks like without any transfers made. I have 0.1 million in the bank and I have 2 free transfers. The assistant manager chip is still active on Arne's slot, and this will be the second week that it is active because I only just activated it in double game week 24. So the reason why, if you take a look at the Liverpool players, there are 2 fixtures for them: Wolves at home and Aston Villa away. I've kind of highlighted the Aston Villa away fixture in red because that is the one that is still not confirmed, but based on the odds of what is most likely to occur, Aston Villa and Liverpool are the ones that are going to double in double game week 25. Now, there are different permutations of what can actually happen in double game week 25. So I'll run through the different permutations. The first is dependent on the Liverpool versus Tottenham game in the EFL Cup semi-final. If Liverpool do progress to the final, then the fixtures that you see here, Wolves at home and Aston Villa away, will be the confirmed fixtures for Liverpool. If Tottenham do happen to progress to the final and basically Liverpool lose, then the teams that will double in 25 will become Tottenham and Fulham. So Aston Villa and Liverpool will no longer have that double, and Tottenham and Fulham will instead double in 25. Now, in terms of the other fixture for the EFL Cup semi-finals, there's also Arsenal versus Newcastle, and if Arsenal happen to overturn the 2-0 deficit that they currently sit on against Newcastle, then they will progress to the finals, in which case Arsenal and Chelsea will be the teams that also double in game week 25. So it's quite confusing, but in terms of what is most likely to occur, Newcastle are predicted to beat Arsenal and progress to the final. Liverpool are predicted to beat Tottenham and also progress to the final, giving us a Liverpool versus Newcastle Carabao Cup final, in which case game week 25 will see only one extra fixture, which is Liverpool versus Aston Villa. So what you see on the screen right now is the most likely outcome, and I'll have to prepare my team for this particular double of Aston Villa and Liverpool. So taking a look at the number of doublers that I have 3 Liverpool double game week assets in Trent and Salah, and I also have Arne slot. So I cover the Liverpool assets quite well, but it's the Aston Villa assets that I only have Morgan Rogers here, Ipswich at home and Liverpool at home. So the first thing that I'll have to address is getting more Aston Villa players, and I'll likely do Isak to Ollie Watkins to kind of increase the number of double game week players that I have from Aston Villa, but I also don't want to go too heavy on them because they would blank in a blank game week 29. And my plan for blank game week 29 is still to navigate that blank with free transfer. So I can't go too heavy on Aston Villa in view of the blank in 29. So aside from bringing in Ollie Watkins, I think the rest of my team looks pretty alright. I'm starting Flecken against West Ham ahead of Verbruggen, who has Chelsea on the bench. And then in terms of the other defenders that I have aside from Trent, it's Gabriel against Leicester and Robinson against Nottingham Forest. Now, I am tempted to actually do Robinson out for Kirkes to hop on the Bournemouth fixture run that starts with Southampton in game week 25 that looks really good. But that will kind of hamper the number of transfers that I have moving forward to deal with future issues that I have. And I'll explain as we go along in the transfer tinkering section for Robinson. But right now, he is most likely going to stay in my team. In terms of the midfielders, 2 double game week players in Rogers and Salah, as well as Mbumo against West Ham and Palmer against Brighton, so no issues in the midfield. Up front, Isak is likely going to leave the team for Watkins, and then there's Wissa against West Ham and Mateta against Everton at home. Now, if you see on the bench, I have Ahmad here against Tottenham away. He is a player that I really want to try and get into the team, But right now, that would likely mean benching someone like Mateta or even Cole Palmer, which sounds a bit crazy. So right now, Ahmad is still on the bench against Tottenham away. But if I do, come across a situation where I'm able to start him, say for example, some players get injured, I will not hesitate to just bench that player and start Ahmad instead, because Tottenham away is actually a great fixture for him to do well in. So if not, this is how the team looks like, again without any transfers made. And let's now have a look at the transfer tinkering section to play around with the team and show you guys what I'm most likely to do moving forward. So this is my team on the fpl.team transfer planner, exactly as shown in the graphic just now. Now, fpl.team have not sponsored today's video or anything, but I think it's a great tool for me to explain to you guys what I intend to do with my team, especially during this period where there are lots of blanks and doubles for us to navigate. Now, if you go onto the website fpl.team, you key in your FPL ID and scroll down to the bottom, there is this button called Set Planet FPL Projected Fixtures. If you click on this button, I've already done so. What this button does is it simply rearranges all the fixtures moving forward into what is most likely going to happen in terms of doubles and blanks. So as you guys can see in Game Week 25, there are only 2 teams that are predicted to have a double there, Aston Villa and Liverpool. Aside from that, the other kind of provisional announcements that we've had in terms of Chelsea and Arsenal, and also Tottenham versus Fulham, though they have been provisionally announced, the expectation is that Liverpool and Newcastle will be the Carabao Cup finals, in which case only Liverpool and Aston Villa will double in double game week 25. So the next game week of note is blank game week 29. This is a week where Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Liverpool and Newcastle are predicted to blank, so 4 teams, and it's off the basis that the Carabao Cup finals will be happening that weekend. So Liverpool and Newcastle obviously blank, and then their respective opponents also blank. Now, when I look at 4 teams blanking in blank game week 29, it feels slightly easier to navigate as compared to blank game week 34, where you see there are many more teams that are blanking: Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Everton, as well as Liverpool, Man City, and Manchester United, and Spurs as well at the bottom here. So basically, blank game week 34 is going to be a much bigger blank game week, in which case I think this is the one I want to save my free hit for. So the plan is still to navigate blank game week 29 with free transfers, and how that plays into the transfers that I'll be making this week is also very crucial, because Aston Villa are a team that double in double game week 25 but also blank in blank game week 29. So coming back to my team here, I cannot go too heavy on Aston Villa, even though I only have Morgan Rogers. So my plan is only to bring in one other Aston Villa player, and that would be Ollie Watkins. Now, Isak is the player that's likely going to make way, as I mentioned just now, and it's simply because he's at the start of a pretty tricky run of 3 fixtures. So Man City away in game week 25, Nottingham Forest at home in game week 26, and Liverpool away in game week 27. So this is actually a decent enough week to hop off of Alexander Isak and go on to Ollie Watkins. So the plan is to bring in this extra double game week player in Ollie Watkins for Ipswich at home and Liverpool at home. So this would give me overall 5 players, or you can call assets, that are doubling in game week 25, because I will have 3 Liverpool assets in Trent, Salah and Slot, and then 2 Aston Villa players in Rogers and Ollie Watkins. So overall, 5 players for the double. I think it's a fair number. And then in terms of Robinson as well, that I mentioned, I'm pretty tempted to replace, because Nottingham Forest is not technically a very easy fixture. I could go from Robinson to Kirkes, because this is also the start of a very good run of fixtures, beginning with Southampton away right now in game week 25. So it is actually a really good run for Bournemouth all the way until game week 30, when I need to wildcard. It is tempting, but I think after looking at the transfers that I've weighed up for future game weeks, I am leaning towards rolling the transfer and just avoiding going for Kirkes overall. Right, so keeping Robinson here just gives me that 1 extra transfer to carry over to game week 26. I will have 2 free transfers. And in this week, I had to spend 1 on RNA slot. The reason why I didn't need to transfer him out in game week 25 was for obvious reasons. He was doubling that week and I want that extra fixture. So there was no reason for me to remove RNA slot. But now in 26, he has Man City away. So this is a week where I can very well remove him, obviously because he has a slightly tougher fixture, and go on to another manager. But this would obviously depend largely on how many points I've accumulated so far and whether I want to go for a table bonus fixture in game week 26. And if I do want to do that, I look at the Everton versus Manchester United fixture in game week 26 as one that I could target for table bonus. Right now at this point, Everton and Manchester United are only separated by 4 positions on the league table. So Everton do not qualify for table bonus against Manchester United at the moment, but by the time game week 26 comes around, that could be the case. And accounting for that kind of shifts after the results we've seen over the next few weeks, if Everton are indeed in a position to qualify for table bonus, I could go for David Moyes here. Now the reason why I have to go for a cheaper manager is because I want to free up some funds. I will have 1.1 million in the bank after this transfer of slot to Moyes. Try to go for table bonus against Manchester United, and this 1.1 million will enable me to do Rodgers out for Kluivert, which is a player that I really want. In fact, in game week 25, if I could find the transfers for him, I would do so because he obviously had Southampton in 25. But now in game week 26 is also a decent enough window to bring him in. Looking at the fixtures, it's Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, Brentford, Ipswich. It looks really good, and the key thing with Kluivert is that he has a fixture in game week 29. So what I essentially do by going for Rodgers out and Kluivert in is I remove a player who blanks in 29 and I bring in a player who has a fixture in 29, right? So after game week 26, after using my 2 transfers here to downgrade slot to Moyes and also go Rodgers to Kluivert, when I fast forward to game week 29, I will be in a spot where I have 3 free transfers. And if I rearrange the squad right now to kind of put all the players who don't have fixtures on the bench, you'll actually see that I only have 2 players who don't have fixtures right now in my starting 11 in Mateta and Watkins, and I also have 3 transfers to deal with them. So I'll be in a reasonable position to navigate this game week with just free transfers. I make 2 transfers, remove 2 players who blank for players who actually do have fixtures. So I do think for now, it is still possible to navigate blank game week 29 with free transfers, and that is still my plan. And in terms of going all the way back now to game week 25, you see how the transfers that I'm planning right now are basically for me to set up for game week 29 and navigating that blank well. So that for now is the plan, simply to do Isak to Watkins. Let me know what are your thoughts of my transfer plans overall for the next few game weeks in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed today's video and found it useful. If you did, please do drop a like. Please do subscribe as well. And I'll catch you guys in more Double Game Week 25 content coming very soon. Bye-bye.